Hello, thank you for introducing me. I'm very pleased to be here. I've been joining Thales very recently, but actually I've been working on cellular technology for quite some time, for the last 20 years, 2G, 3G, 4G, and now of course 5G. Okay, so let me explain first briefly during the next minute what is 5G. So 5G is, you may have heard about bringing a lot of gigabit per second to your smartphone. Actually, that's true. You will see that in the next few months. But that's only one aspect of 5G, which is called enhanced mobile broadband. There are two other modes in 5G, which are as well important and which will transform our life. One is called critical communication. Well, the challenge here is to bring resilient and low latency communication, okay, which will be very useful for transportation. As well, there is a third mode of 5G, which is called MMTC, which means massive machine type communication, which is about bringing not speed, not resilience, but bringing a low cost and as well a long battery life to devices, billions of devices such as sensors, which again will be used for transportation. Another aspect is where the three modes are dependent on radio. Another important aspect of 5G is what is called network slicing, which means that within one single network, there will be several sub-networks which will have different usages and as well different quality of service for the different kind of devices. Again, sub-networks such as virtual operators, if you prefer. Okay? So now that we have seen, again, roughly speaking, what is 5G, let me speak about what benefits it can bring to transportation. So what are the issues in transportation, specifically in big cities? Well, these are, of course, traffic congestions, accidents, and the different, and pollution, of course. All of them are, of course, related, because as much there is a traffic congestion, the more you will have pollution. And as well, if there is an accident, there will be more traffic and more pollution. So 5G can help that by helping to have a smooth traffic. How is going to happen? So first, let me speak about what is called a V2V. V2V means vehicle-to-vehicle communication. Contrary to regular cellular communication, this will be a communication directly from one vehicle to the other, okay, without passing to the network, ensuring a low latency. Typically, this will be used for autonomous cars, and these autonomous cars will be able, therefore, to, when there will be groups of cars, called as well in 5G platoons, whereas all the cars going in the same direction at the same time will be grouped with a low distance between themselves, and all the cars will communicate between each other in real time, such as if an accident happens before, all the cars will simultaneously brake, okay, if there is a change of weather, for instance, as well. So this will allow, again, as well to optimize, to optimize the traffic. Then there is V2I. V2I means vehicle to infrastructure. So what is infrastructure? Is typically the infrastructure of the smart city, which means the traffic lights, which means speed cameras, which means the parking spots, which can be identified through sensors. And all of that, and the vehicle will be able to communicate directly to all this part of the infrastructure. The issue today, part of the technology exists, but for the moment they are using proprietary protocols, proprietary communication, which makes it very difficult to provide a unified system. 5G brings the promise of unifying all the technology, enabling new applications and new services by having direct communication. So there have been some experiments already. So the Carnegie Mellon University in the US has done a trial in Pittsburgh with traffic lights to optimize the traffic lights. And the first stage is using regular technology, not yet 5G. But today, it has proven that you can improve the traffic, or decrease actually the traffic wait time by as much as 40% by having an intelligent infrastructure. As well, the pollution can be diminished by 20%. Next step is, of course, 5G. There is a city of Seoul in South Korea, which is planning to deploy 5G for V2I next year, 2020. So I guess we'll soon see what are the results and the benefits in practice, again, in terms of pollution. Okay, so not everything is about cars, by the way. So the third aspect I would like, because cars is obviously what all our US friends talk about, but as well, here in Europe, we are much more public transportation. And as well, there is the need and benefits with what is called multimodal transportation. Multimodal transportation, what does it mean? That means if you can combine different ways of transportation, such as taking a bus first, then using a shared car, a Uber, or a shared scooter, or a shared bike, all along your way. And of course, you would like to have a kind of mobile application in the morning telling you, okay, what is the best way to reach point A to point B by using all these different means of transportation and not just using your car. The issue we have today with that is that all these systems are independent. All these systems require specific registration, specific payment. Everything which is linked is because there is different identities. So what is needed for that is to unify the identities, and instead of having service-centric transportation is to have what we call people-centric transportation. The idea would be that across the system you have registered to one, for instance, in France, Navigo, but then you will be able to switch rapidly to another means of transportation without the need to register, etc. You will be authenticated and allowed to use a new part of the transportation automatically without the need to register specifically, without the need to think about payment. Okay? So that's why there must be, what we are working on at Thales is a hub of identities on how to connect different identity systems. Of course, one key aspect to take care is about user privacy. We don't want, of course, anybody to be able to know where you are and what you are doing. So at the same time, you want to make it convenient as a security, as much seamless as possible from one mode of transportation to the other, but at the same time, guarantee your privacy through the security of the system. Okay? So as a conclusion, again, what 5G will bring to transportation, so standardized network, okay, using optimized technology across the different modes. Second, it will bring the resilience adapted for critical communications, and which means radio adapted for the use cases, okay? And third, working on the identities behind that across the different systems so that the user can enjoy a safe journey. Of course, this is not just something that Thales can work on. This is an ecosystem work. So we are working already with partners, and we want to work with other partners. So if you are interested to join us on this journey, please contact us. Thank you. Thank you very much.